watch the fight this past weekend?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Jay, did you watch it?
No.
Nah. What did you guys think?
I'm Canelo all day. I'm biased.
Yeah.
I don't care who he fights. I'm Canelo all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a Mexican pride thing for sure.
For sure.
No, of course.
And Charlo he talked too much smack, dude. He wasn't ready.
Yeah.
He thought he was ready, but he wasn't ready. His brother could have been, I think, a much better fight with his brother there.
Yeah, that's what the headlines are saying. But he was an undisputed champ.
That's what they needed. That.
But he didn't go out there to really put on a fight, but rather defend himself from getting knocked down.
Then he calls out Terrence Crawford right after.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
dude, chill. If you can't beat Canelo, there's no way you're gonna beat. I mean, Canelo will beat Terrence Crawford, but I'm saying you can't.
But what do you do? Like, you lost, like, you're just going to stay low, or like you're going to use that, like, oh no, I'm ready for the next fight, even though you lost.
No, because
like,
then
you're going to start building that beef up with the other
next
boxer.
one.
Even though the guy went on Twitter, Terrence Crawford, I'm like, nah, I'm not fighting you no more. Like, because they did have some beef, but then he, like, after I saw what happened with you and Canelo, I'm like, nah, I'll take this dude down any day.
What I would do is I would be like, all right, who's next in my list, and then just beat him, and then get a couple wins in, and then go for a big fight. You can't lose two back to back.
Yeah.
There's no way. You should have never called Terrence Crawford out. At least call Jake Paul out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, your adrenaline is there.
I know.
You just, did he lose his belts? Or it was Canelo that was there? No, I think it was Canelo.
Canelo was defending.
Yeah, it was defending it. So yeah, he's still good. And that was only like his second loss too.
Yeah. Second knockdown too. So Canelo does to you, man.
Yeah.
And he wasn't vegan this time. Thank God.
I mean, he looked at his punches, looked strong.
Jeez, man.
Really strong. Even the ones that were blocked looked like they hurt, man.
I know, and he just, I feel like he catches a lot of heat from people saying like, oh, like, because they all expect the Canelo takedown, like to knock out the opponent, and when he doesn't do it, like, no, this guy sucks, or he's not like Julio Cesar Chavez, he's not like Juan Manuel Marquez, all these, heavy hitters, that were counter attackers. And he just catches, heat for that. But it's like, dude, everybody's trying not to get knocked down
Exactly.
by Canelo, like his punches are flawless, man. If he connects it, like, you're done.
The sad part is that the people who are the ones talking bad about him are his own people, Mexicans.
Yeah.
It's like
exactly.
we always put each other down, man. God, why do we do that? It's like, just take the win for once.
Yeah.
There's always something wrong, But don't get me wrong. I mean, personally, the Mexican national soccer team makes me very angry.
Oh, we're going to jump there?
And so,
Oh, man.
for them,
No warm up. Woo. Let's go.
my God, the last time they played, I FaceTime Hera, and I was like, Hera, dude, Kazakhstan.
Uzbekistan.
Whatever stand it was, dude. You're playing a team who has players. Most of those players have part-time jobs,
Yeah.
and you're losing. That pisses me off. Someone take it, because I'm gonna start cussing.
No, well, going back to what you're saying before you went into the national team, is that there's a saying, Mexican saying, that says "El peor enemigo de un mexicano es otro mexicano."
Yeah.
Yep.
And you hear that often, and I would hear that a lot growing up, and I'm like, oh, I wonder why that is. And then you grow up, and you're like, dang, that's true,
I don't know
I
why.
feel like a lot in our culture, like we tear people down, and to the point where we just like dehumanize them. We talk bad about their family and about their physical structure, everything,
Yeah.
That's how you get those nicknames, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, yeah, el gordo. And then you're like, damn, dude.
Yo, I haven't been fat since I was 5 months, dude.
For real.
Jeez, or flaco, la flaca. It's like, for a woman, like, to be called that, it's like, that might really affect them, emotionally. Some people don't. I mean, people don't realize that, but I think that's just our culture in general. And you're right, we do that to ourselves.
I mean, one thing we can
Wow.
say for sure is that sports can make a lot of us crazy, right? We get very extremely protective, passionate, angry, all those emotions, right? Happy at times, depending on your team, and or your preferred fighter if you have one. I personally don't know a lot about like soccer or boxing because I haven't followed it in such a long time. Like not diligently anyways, just watch like big fights when they come on, but I don't really generally know who the guys fought before that and who's up next or none of that. But I do like watching it though, still, regardless. But I do miss how much like of course everyone wants to see a big knockout. When you see two fighters go against each other, you want to see someone get knocked out. That would be you know, in the perfect world, that's how that would be the end result every time. But
that's why people watch fights, man. That's the entertainment.
Yeah.
Exactly, brother.
It's crazy though how like a sporting event can dictate your emotions.
Right.
Oh, dude.
Like
We're going there too?
because it's you guys are used to it. You're the Raider fans.
Yeah, I was just about to say that too.
I've been angry my whole life, bro.
Exactly. But like if you watch a fight or you watch a game and your team loses, like you really are in a bad mood.
Oh,
Legit.
yeah.
Like I am in a bad mood
Yeah.
when like my Chivas play and they lose especially against, you know, a team like America. Like I am in a bad mood. The last time we were in the final this past May, and I cried. Tears came down my eyes.
It reminds me of that video of the Chivas fan who was crying after the final.
yeah.
He was crying in front of the kids. And the mom was like, "Enfrente de los hijos, no, not in front of the kids."
Dude, that's real,
Probably,
dude.
you know, shut the door and tell your kids to leave you alone for 2 hours or a whole day.
I got in the shower, dude. I was like, just let the water go to my face so they don't notice, please.
Yeah.
Dude, I legit cried for that game, you know, but it's crazy. I mean, I don't know about you guys.
But where do you think that stems from, though?
Pride, right? Or like just like ownership of something, I guess. Like that's my team, man. You know, and then my team loses and I lose too. So, you know, I guess that's where it comes from. And I think that's ingrained at such a young age. You know what I mean? Because I was born like this fan of this team.
Yeah.
Without me even choosing. And in my head, I went to like 3 teams. You know what I mean?
I still made the decision myself, though.
See, there you yeah.
It wasn't like my dad bought me the shirt and I stayed with that team the whole time.
Yeah.
you know? Like,
No, that's what my dad did. He's like, this is your team. And then I have like pictures of me like as a baby with like the jersey and the flag. And I'm like, that's always been my team. That's going to stay my team.
Yeah.
And so I think at a young age, you get really ingrained into that. In any sport, I think, you know, except for like boxing. I think that fighters come and go.
Yeah.
So,
but like growing up, I don't know, like with you guys, but I feel like before there was a lot more Mexican fighters. Right now, the ones who are making, you know, the headlines are Canelo, and then in the heavyweight division, like Andy Ruiz, right?
Ryan Garcia is still there, but I mean, he's Mexican.
Yeah, Mexican. Ryan Garcia, half, you know. But I remember growing up, like we would always throw parties every time there was a fight for like Marco Antonio Barrera
De La Hoya
against Felix Vargas, I believe was his name. And everybody, even like all my cousins, all the kids that were there, and you know, you're always running around. But as soon as the fight started, like all the parents were like, "Oh, ya siéntate, va a pelear, you know, this person's about to fight," and we're just there, like, "Oh, I don't know who this guy is, but my family is involved, you know, and they're Mexican, you know." So like at a young age, I feel like you just identify with that, you know, like, oh, you know, this is what sports is about, you know, you're rooting from somebody from like your hometown. And that's what happens a lot, especially with like immigrant, you know, families, like my parents coming from Mexico, right? And there's like a hometown fighter, you know, they're representing their city, you know, like Viva la Raza, Eddie Guerrero. That's why wrestling, everybody loved Eddie Guerrero too, you know, rest in peace.
Love that guy.
Because we just like our nationality, like we just identified
for sure
with him because there wasn't any other fighters, you know, talking in Spanish or sporting that Mexican Latino culture.
And I think that's where it really comes from, like the emotional part of it is because you get so attached to like this, you realize that this person or this team in a way kind of represents your culture, and you feel like, man, my culture is failing me right now, you know? So like, dude, and so that, and I think that's part of the emotional attachment to that is like, dude, this guy or this team represents our culture, and it's not a good look right now, you know?
It's tough for both of you because you guys are both half Puerto Rican, half Mexican, right?
Yeah.
And so in boxing world, we don't like each other. You know what I mean?
There's been a lot of good Puerto
Ricans and Mexican fighters do not like each other. I mean, you're looking at Trinidad de la Hoya, you're looking at Cotto versus Margarito.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's a clash.
Yeah.
So like for you guys, it would be tough.
Would you guys root for that?
You guys seem more Puerto Rican to me than anything else. Yeah. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I know. The tattoo on your arm.
I would have loved for us to be friends during those fights, you know. Mexican, Puerto Rican. Shoot, we'd probably throw hands after too.
Right? I got some gloves.
That's actually why I stopped investing in sports on
really?
any sports. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
like it's just too emotional. I get too emotional. I was like, man, I'm gonna die from these sports.
Yeah.
From heartbreak or something. You know, I get way too invested. So I literally just had to stop. I had to just kind of like, all right, I'll watch it. Yeah, I'm a Raider fan, but it's like there's nothing that changes. You know, it's like the same thing. So I'm not as disappointed. I get more entertainment by watching the Niners lose. So
Yeah.
I'm a big Niner hater. So
Hasn't happened yet, buddy.
Let me ask you a question. At what point or what sport, team, or athlete like upset you so much you're like, I'm done with this, like I'm no longer, like was it just one point or just gradually it just
nah, it was a build up. It was a build up, but it was just being a Raider fan, you know, it's like, you know, it's like you looking forward to a season and then the season starts like this season. And you know, it's just kind of like, you know, what I mean, I'm investing all my time for what? You know, it's like they don't know who I am. It's just so
That's
I
so
just
funny.
stopped. I really stopped.
They don't know who I am. That's actually a good one because some people get too invested into sports. Like, dude, they don't even know who you are. Just chill. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a game.
Yeah,
But then
but
for
then,
someone
like-
who's so invested in it, it's like, no, it's not just a game. Like, this is what I live for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This gives me the excitement that I need. The
But I think
adrenaline.
a lot for me was when I started noticing that like the conflict between like friends and family, where that like really started taking a toll, and I was like, dude, this is like getting out of hand, you
It's
know?
not family friendly no more.
Yeah, no, and it started getting really serious, and I mean, I think a lot has to do with pride, right? Like, I mean, as men, you know, our stamina is going. It's just like, dude, I mean, you're just turning into a terror, you know. And I'm like, you're not gonna talk crap to me, especially if I'm down right now. And I mean, a lot of guys just don't know
when to stop.
Yeah. And so for me, it got to a point where I was like, you know what, I better stop because I'm always disappointed. So I'm gonna die from
and
a
then you're
freaking
gonna
heartbreak.
you're gonna reach a breaking point where perhaps you're at a game and you're so pissed off that you just get in a fight with other fans.
Does that always happen?
Right. You know?
Well, dude, I remember I used to be more entertained at the Raider games with the fights than the actual game. Yeah,
Hilarious.
dude, it was like fights left and right. And it's just like, forget the game, dude. You just, you know, everywhere you look, there's a fight. So
That's funny. I saw a post on the Raiders, and we're like, "This is the Raiders cycle," and it's like, "This is our season," and then we're like 0-3 or whatever. Like, someone gets arrested. I guess someone got arrested last week, and it's like just the same cycle that happens next year's our year. It's the same cycle.
I don't think
Yeah.
Raider
So
fans
crazy.
say next year is our year as much as like the Cowboys or the Niners.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
I
It's
think
the
we are
Cowboys.
hopeful that it's going to be a better year
Yeah.
than
Sure.
the year before that. But we're not. I mean, at least with the Raider fans that I kick it with, we're not saying like, oh yeah, no, next year, you know, we're winning the Super Bowl.
no.
You know, like first, you know, let's make it to the playoffs. You know, we'll work our way
Let's
up. But
win
I
one
feel the
game.
Niners and the Cowboys every time talking smack, and you know,
Yeah.
they just
Agreed.
don't get to where they say they're going to get.
Well, I feel like a lot of times because the Niners feel closer, and they are as a team collectively, they are closer to that goal than we've been in a very long time. Than the Raiders have been. I said we, but the Raiders have been.
Not us. See, taking that pride, baby.
Exactly. But you know they've been a lot closer for the past few years, but they've not been able to get it done. So I think that's why they continue to say, "Oh, this is our
Typical
year,"
Niners.
you know.
Yeah.
And they do also continue to make good moves for themselves as a team. So you see that, and you're like, "Oh man, maybe this is going to be the year." But hopefully, it's not. Hopefully, they lose and just fall
hopefully
flat
they
on
like
their face.
they all like really start investing and they really believe in it, post it,
Exactly.
and then they just get
Yeah.
swept again.
just like every year.
Yeah,
just
that actually helps.
one and done in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
that helps with the pain for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, definitely.
Another
So
30-0
all the
against the
losses
Eagles.
of all the years, you know, of the Raiders, it just makes me. I think you know what? It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's all right. Can go. I can let it go. But a big year for me, massive disappointment was, of course, the year and the Raiders lost to New England and when they crazy. They created the whole tuck rule thing
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
You know, Tom Brady was sacked. It was a fumble,
Yeah.
no question, no doubt about it. And then they gave it to the Patriots, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. And we had a great team that year. The Raiders had a great team. So I think if we would have gone to the Super Bowl, we probably likely would have won that Super Bowl. But didn't happen. The football gods were against us once again, and so that was that.
And then every year after that.
Right. For sure.
Guess I'm never for you guys, huh?
But
sorry to interrupt, but when I was going back to boxing back in the day with Mike Tyson, when he lost to Buster Douglas out of nowhere, I was a kid. I was in Mexico, and I literally watched it on bunny ears antenna for free in Mexico, even though it was a paper. I don't even know how that works.
Yeah.
But somehow they got a channel and they made it work, and you could see the picture. We watched it. We watched the fight. Me and my dad. We were visiting, I think, some friends in Mexico. I was with him, and we couldn't believe that Mike Tyson had lost. We're just like
Mike Tyson.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. If you watch this, don't hit me.
like, come at me, dog. Come at me.
Right.
Please don't.
Right.
I love you.
But going back to the question that I asked you, I feel like within the last year or so, I haven't been as invested in sports. Like, at least not getting as angry with all the rage I used to have as before. And it's crazy because I remember I told you, like, even before the World Cup started, still rooting for Mexico, of course. And going up, towards the World Cup, I was like, nah, dude, like, we're not doing jack. Like, why even root? But as soon as it starts, I'm like, boom, right there, front and center. Even I was in my anniversary trip at Napa, and took some time in the morning to watch the game, and still did same result. Still mad at after the game ended. And
Dude, we didn't make it out of the group stage, dude.
Like, it's so crazy that I was like, nah, I'm not gonna be as invested anymore. Like, if they lose, they lose. If they win, they win. It's cool. I'm gonna enjoy my day. But then the World Cup starts, and bam, everything just kind of throws out the window. And I remember watching the Mexico-Argentina game with you, and I mean, you saw how mad I was, how livid. Nobody wanted to talk to me.
But it was hard to be mad for that game because, like, okay, Messi's gonna take it. Yeah. Cool, he's gonna go through. Yeah. But then Mexico's gonna be out. Mm-hmm. So it was like such a tough. It's like a tug of war with that game because Mexico, please score, but don't score. Yeah. Because I want Argentina to go through and Messi to win it. But then Mexico, even if Mexico goes through, they're not doing anything. They lost against Saudi Arabia, dude. Yeah. Oh, they didn't lose against Saudi Arabia. They lost against.
But two things that made me change my mindset. First, I saw that there was completely unrealistic expectations for the Mexican national team.
Always is.
So I was like, you know what? I'm no longer gonna go and buy tickets, sit lower level and support the team, paying all this money, and they don't care if they lose, draw, or whatever. They just, they just want that check, right? That, and when Messi left Barcelona, my heart just
Did you cry too? You cried at the post-conference?
Bit, and after that, I was like, dang, man, like, all the players that I loved, that, like, they're not there at the team no more, right? Like, all those memories you had growing up as a kid and with other friends and your family members, just enjoying the time to watch the games, like, all that, those memories are kind of just fading away. Like, those players are not here no more. There's a new generation up and coming, and I feel like you lose some investment, in the sport sometimes. At least that's what's kind of happened for me recently. I'll still get excited. I still get ready to root for the team. But now if they lose, like, I'm cool. Yeah. Or at least I say so.
Yeah, you say that to yourself. Keep saying that to yourself.
At least you don't have the rage that you had before.
Yes. So I'm the same way. Like, I can watch the Raiders lose and be like, dang, this sucks. But there's nowhere nearly the amount of, like, rage that there was before attached to that. But at the same time, when they win, I'm, like, very excited about that. And especially if they can string multiple wins together, for a while, that would be awesome. But I definitely feel connected to that. But I am detach when it comes to how upset I get over the losing now.
Yeah. And also I think it comes with like a certain level of self-awareness, because if sports is getting in the way of your relationship, you know, like with your wife, your kids and everything, like that's when, you know, I'm like, all right, you gotta tone it down
for sure.
a bit, you know, because my wife, she doesn't really watch sports. She'll watch them because, you know, she loves me and she roots for the same teams I do. But you know, let's say I'm watching a Pumas game and it's in the playoffs and we're losing like 3-0, and I'm like, no, this is it. We're done. Like, I'm just going to turn the TV off. Like, I'm sick and tired of watching Pumas lose. And she's there like, no, they're going to come back, you know? And I'm like, there's like 5 minutes left. You know, I appreciate your optimism, but they're not coming back.
Bro.
You know, so I like,
yeah,
I'm like, okay, like I love it and I appreciate it that my wife is there and she wants to support me, because she doesn't want to see me being all sad or angry, you know, not like that I'm, you know, gonna hit her or just express all my emotion on her, which I don't, you know, like I just stay quiet for a bit. You know, like, man, sometimes you just don't talk for a bit, right?
Raise some glass.
And then inside.
I don't hit my wife. I just put her to sleep. Yeah. I definitely never. I just choke her out. You know what I mean? That way she takes a nap, and I get some alone time. It's fine.
Well, we can both nap together.
Oh, you're a fool. I love it.
Yeah, brother.
Okay.
We don't condone violence.
Second episode, we have to say that in a row.
My bad.
You're good. You're good.
You guys play sports when you guys were younger, like high school and stuff, before high school?
Definitely.
I think that's when it starts for us at a young age. It's like, I grew up competitive. And so like my dad put me in like competitive soccer immediately. So I grew that competitiveness. Like, no, we need to win.
For sure.
You know? And I think I brought that to this age now where like if my team's not winning, I'm mad, just like I was when I was a kid. And we didn't win a playoff game or a final. Like, losing a final is the worst feeling. Like, you still feel that. That emotion you have when you lose the final, man. It's like,
of course.
You know, you want to hit anybody you see in front of you, you know? But, yeah, I did. We played. I know he played club too.
I didn't play.
Okay, dog. Oh, yeah, you were on the bench.
Blow.
No, I'm just kidding. No, he was a starter. He was a starter.
Going back to boxing.
Mar, you said he had gloves, right?
Yeah.
Bring him out.
We're going live after this in my backyard.
Yeah.
These two are going to duke it out.
Yeah. So, you know, join the Patreon.
Yeah. We'll live stream it.
Jay, did you play?
Yeah, I played football.
You played football?
Yeah, we played football in high school. But it definitely started when we were younger.
Yeah.
My dad has always like been on us, and dude, it's crazy because I pass it on to the only kid I got is my daughter, dude, and I've always been like, if you're gonna do something, you're gonna be the best at it, you know. And I'm gonna be there. I'm investing my time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm investing my money.
Yeah.
And she's just a little girl, just looking at me. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, you're gonna be the best out there.
She's like, I'm 6.
Yeah. And it was cheer. Yeah. You know? And it was like everybody's like, dude, how you gonna be the best? I'm like, I don't care, dude. You're gonna be the best. I don't care because you know. And plus, she's small too, right? So I'm like, I don't care. And yeah, I've always just pushed her. I'm like, if you're gonna do something, you better be the best because I'm gonna be out there cheering you on. You know, I'm like, I don't care if it's cheer, bro. I'll be out there cheering you on. You know, and
like, Dad, can I do a handstand now?
Yeah, bro. It was yeah. It was. I was a little hard on her growing up when she, you know, she was over here enjoying, you know, dancing and doing her cheers, and I'm like, no, you do it better. I'm like, no, you gotta be better. You know, you gotta stand out. You know, and I don't know.
And then you have to go in and show her how it's done.
I've actually been on stage before.
Yeah.
You were a bass.
No, they called the dads out and stuff, and had to go represent. You know, I was out there.
Let's go.
Doing some stunts, but yeah, it's the competitive has always been there. So
Going back to cheer though, just because my wife is gonna watch this, it's a competitive sport.
it is. You know what? I actually
'Cause she
enjoyed
did it her whole
Olympics.
life. No, I've been to a comp, dude. And I'm like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
Like, what? This is like the Super Bowl of like cheerleading. Like everyone's yelling, screaming, and like the dancers coming. Like, yo, that was actually pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
How you guys do that?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But my wife did it her whole life,
Yeah.
and her mom was a coach, and she did nationals and all that stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, my wife
They
did the
take it
same thing.
serious.
She's the one that inspired her, and she coached her first few years. And she's been her biggest support in it, and so even till now, she's about to go to college, and she's like, "So we're gonna continue this, right?" And I'm just like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
It's like get a scholarship with it, or you can, But
Let her become a Raiderette, bro.
Raiderette, there it is.
Please.
no, why? Disappointment. God.
Yeah, but
man.
the best stadium in the NFL.
that's very true.
Dude, it's gonna take a while to pay that off because no one wants to go to those games.
What are you talking about?
I know.
They're sold out every time.
Yeah, by the opposing team.
it's not a home advantage.
It's not even a home
It
team.
doesn't matter. They're sold out.
God.
Money's still coming in. Plus, that venue you knew was gonna be
exactly.
it's a money printing
grab.
machine, bro. Everybody wants to have their concerts there. Everything else is just a beautiful stadium. Yeah.
Speaking about concerts in football, do you guys want to talk about Taylor Swift?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No.
All you Swifties out there.
Oh no.
No.
Don't.
That's hilarious.
Sick and tired of that.
Yeah, I was pretty active.
I'm a who?
Obviously, like you guys, football was a big thing for me. But I actually played a lot of basketball when I was younger. One of my best friends growing up, junior, guy had a little court in his backyard, and I spent the night at his house like almost every weekend back in the day. And through summer, we would just spend so much time. And dude, we were played 1v1 21, probably, I don't know, 10, 15 games throughout an entire Saturday. Then we would hit up all the kids in the one of the rituals we had is we'd get up early, we'd play ball. Then we'd go, there's a liquor store or a pizza joint at the end of the block. We'd go there, get a pizza, large soda, play Street Fighter, and then we go hit up all the homies in the neighborhood and get a schoolyard football game going, and we just play with everyone back then. But we played basketball, we played football together. Those are our two main things that we just played so much
Good
every
old days,
weekend.
huh?
Yeah.
Dang. I think at a young age that really helps you because it teaches you discipline.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one thing I think I
Definitely.
learned was
Mhm.
discipline and like order and other than the competitiveness, which it can have its advantages and disadvantages at times, but I think just having that discipline of like doing things the right way, 100%, no cutting shortcuts or stuff like that. I think that really helps you mold into be a better adult, even if you're staying in sports or not. I think I carry that my whole life. Which is why I want to get my kids into sports now because I'm like, this is the perfect age to get you guys in there so you guys can learn discipline, and structure. I think it's structure. Also, the biggest thing is structure in it. So
you get out of it what you put
absolutely
into it. And I agree with you. For me, sports like shape me, like the identity, like the person that I am, because I'd say I'm a pretty disciplined person, or at least I attempt to be disciplined in everything that I do, whether it's work, education, things at church, whatever it may be. But if it wasn't for sports, I don't think I would have built that resilience mindset, like the times in sports when you're just really down or like your body's hurting and you just don't want to go no more, but you have to keep pushing, you have to keep grinding, and then you see the result of that and you're like, oh, that's the result of my labor, my hard work, so it's what you put into it, what you'll get out of it. And sometimes you can apply those things in life, and that's why it's it's important to put kids, they need that discipline.
And I think it also helps with your relationship with for me, my dad was like at every single game. So like our relationship was like tight growing up. I have this like very vivid memory playing for Oak Grove, and my dad was sitting on the stands, and I scored a goal from outside the box, top corner.
Impressed.
Okay. No, and I remember looking at him, and he was just like up yelling and jumping. I was like, damn, man, like I made my dad happy.
Like a shot of adrenaline.
With
there,
that goal.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I have a similar memory to that, and I mean, you were there when I scored a goal in high school, playing high school soccer, and we scored against Branham, and that was the last game my mom ever saw me play, and I dedicated that goal to her. And there was it was a day game. It was like 3 p.m. You know, there wasn't a lot of people. There was almost nobody in the stands, but she was one of the people that was in the stands, and she was just up jumping. You know, I dedicated
That's awesome,
the goal to her. You know, and she was just, you know, tears in her eyes and everything, and that just brings a lot of memories to me because my mom was at every single one of my soccer games, every single game. You know, and my parents were the ones were like, oh no, you have to, you know, go out there, be the best, kind of like the pep talk that you were giving your daughter. They just kind of let me be. Like, they just know that I enjoyed soccer, and that's something that I was passionate about, and that's what just made me happy in my life as a kid. And I think growing up, that's me. I was more, I had like higher standards for myself. Like, oh no, I want to be, you would see all these YouTube videos of soccer players, right? People that you looked up to, like, oh, I want to be as good as them, you know? So then you start building that mindset, like, okay, if I want to do this, then I have to do a certain amount of push-ups or sit-ups every day. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you start building that mindset. And with sports, I felt like it just elevated my like standards of like how I saw myself. Like, no, I can do better, you know? And that's just where it built the mindset. But yeah, beautiful memory that I have is just, you know, dedicating that goal to my mom. But what about you guys? You got any personal like favorite sports stories?
No.
It can include violence.
I know. Most of
Even
mine
some
did.
Mario.
Yeah, those are the stories that I got.
No,
But
I mean, because we got stories about
because my
how we're about
stuff
to throw it
mostly
down in the field.
more schoolyard.
Yeah.
You know, where we played against just dudes at the, you know, whoever showed up to the school, and whoever, you know, we invited some friends, and then they invited friends, and then we made 2 teams out of it. Sometimes there was just dudes already there, and then we would go with a bunch of guys, make another team, and be like, hey, let's go, let's play. For a while, every year, we, you know, of course, Thanksgiving weekend, you'd play football. Thanksgiving morning, and we did that for several years.
Turkey bowl.
And we would just go to different schools and show up. All of our friends, we would coordinate, all of us that grew up together. And yeah, those were fun games. But man, those games, I promise you, we played, some of these guys, including myself, we played like we were getting paid, bro. Like straight up. It was like, this is for the Super Bowl, this is for the win. Like, and it wasn't, nobody cared.
I stopped playing Turkey Bowl for that same reason,
Yeah.
dude. The last time I played, you know, Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl, somebody got stitches in the very first play. They just got kneed. They went in for the tackle, and then boom, just got kneed. And then next thing you know, they're bleeding. And we're playing at a high school, and it wasn't opened. You had to jump the tall fence, you know? So it's like, how is this dude going to get out if he's basically in a concussion right now? And after that, I'm like, no, I'm a small guy. You know, all the big guys are going to come after you and try to tackle you, right? And I was like, all right, I'd rather play basketball.
I think it would play like flag.
No, tackle, bro.
You
guys are playing tackle, right?
That's you.
Yeah, there's
Flag,
flag.
that might as well be cheer. Yeah, you
What's
don't.
wrong with cheer?
It's girly.
Oh, got it.
That's not what dudes get together with testosterone in their teen years, wanting to play flag football.
Well, nowadays,
you would never. You would never suggest it, you know. That wasn't an option.
No,
it
that
was
was
tackle
never an
football or nothing.
Yeah.
And that's just it. That's just what men play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm sorry. That's just
Dudes
Yep.
tackling other dudes.
Yep.
Oh, very manly.
In tights.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's a perfect opportunity. When else are you going to be able to tackle this guy that's been making you mad for the whole year? Like, you wait for it until it's Turkey Bowl, and bam, first play they're
Sounds
out.
like personal problems, buddy.
Exactly.
Talk it
That's,
out.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely just had some really smash mouth games where there was guys just being carted off like left and right, literally, bro. Bad. We played bad. We played hard, really, really hard.
Thanksgiving is that same day, guys.
Yeah.
You guys ain't eating turkey?
Be thankful that you didn't go to the hospital. It wasn't
After the game, like, all right, have a happy Thanksgiving.
But like for a while, that was an inside joke I've always had was when I had coworkers or one of my employees, I would always be like, "You never play sports, did you?" when they had an attitude of like not being disciplined, I would always say them. They're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Yeah, you never played sports growing up, or you never were in a on a team."
Yeah.
Because it's like that for me. It's like it shows like discipline. Same a lot nowadays is like with military guys. They show a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
And so that was for the longest time. That was an inside joke I had because for me in my head, I'm like, if you played sports, you had discipline. Because to be part of a team, you had to have and then especially if it was a good team, there was discipline. Because that's the number one key. Because you could have all kinds of talent. But if there's no discipline with them and a team, as a unit, trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we had. We had all kinds of talent, but then we would play against schools that had all kinds of discipline, and they just were able to work around us, and everybody's out there doing their own thing because they had skills, but it just, there was a limitation,
Yeah.
So
sadly, that's I feel like that's what we witness, especially in soccer. That you have a lot of good talent, a lot of good Mexican, U.S. born soccer players here. Everybody can juke and do cool tricks with the ball and everything. But then collectively as a team, whenever we played somebody, let's say at a white school, like there's more white soccer players, like we get destroyed because that discipline just lacked, like, oh, I lost the ball and like I'm not gonna go recover it because like now, like
that was also pride. That was
like
cockiness because like everybody wanted the ball, and I'm like,
exactly.
dude, we're a team. Play your position.
Yeah.
It's like people going to my position, like, what are you doing here, dude? So I remember those days.
Yeah,
it was
and I
not
think
fun.
for growing up at a personal level, like sports taught me how to be disciplined. Like I mentioned, like physically, emotionally, spiritually, it taught me how to be disciplined at a personal level. But it wasn't until I started maturing and growing up that I had to take that discipline and apply it collectively, because I'm sure everybody has a memory if they ever play soccer with me, has a memory of me yelling at them in the soccer field, because that's just the type of person that I was, that I felt like that's what it needed to be a leader, like getting in your face and be like, hey, what are you doing, get up, like what kind of pass is that, like you're not dropping down on defense, what's going on? And that was just that type of person, and I feel like I may have perhaps pushed some people away, some relationships away, but like I said, I just felt like as a leader, that's what I thought you had to do. Right. And then, you mature and you think like, okay, you as a leader now, you're right. You set the example, you model it. Right. And everybody has to be on the same page. But that's something that I had to learn, growing up, that sports taught me how to be disciplined on a personal level, but I had to, reach out of that and apply it collectively in relationships.
Yeah.
I
love how you brought up.
it's a reflection of who you are.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how you brought up like, like drop down, even though me and you play in the same side. So you're referring to me. Got it.
I looked at you right here.
I know we played in the same side. So okay,
You
thanks.
guys, the reason why I had ulcers in high school.
I was too busy attacking, dude. I wasn't much of a defender. I think another thing that really taught me though was humbleness, and I say this in the aspect of, in like club soccer, you would go to tournaments, and we weren't the family to go to Togo's or Subway. We were like, we're bringing our own packed sandwiches, we're bringing our lunch, or if Hera's mom was there, she'll bring the mole. We'll go to the park and have some mole, while all the other people go to like Subway, Togo's, Chipotle. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that taught so much humbleness. It's like, oh, like I don't got that.
Yeah.
We ain't got it like that, so it's cool. All right. I'm gonna stay in my lane and still eat this bomb mole,
Right.
that Hera's mom brought. I don't know why we're eating mole before a game. First of all, it's like, what are you doing?
That was definitely one.
But you weren't about to say no.
No way. No.
One of the best memories growing up, because we played club soccer together. And we were the only Mexicans in all white team. And these were guys that went to private schools, Bellarmine and stuff. And, after the games, they're like, oh, yeah, let's go to Togo. Everything that he said, right? And then my mom was already ready. Like, nope, we're going to find the nearest park.
Yes.
We got chairs, we got a cooler, we got waters, we got everything. Brought your own little comal.
Yeah.
Tejito tortillas and everything.
Hilarious.
And we're going to go eat some mole,
Well,
Make
we
some
ate
tortas
good,
or something.
But you know what, dude? If you really think about it, we kind of talked about this an episode or two ago. is that you guys like had memories that you guys could talk about. Like this is something that is core that you could take for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And if you guys would have been like at Togo's, like that wouldn't even be a story.
Exactly.
You know, it wouldn't even be a memory. It's not even something you would appreciate.
Bro, that's true.
You know what I mean? And it's like it's beautiful, like how you said you're able to humble and experience that, and now you guys have this, and that's for life. You know,
For
so
sure.
that's dope.
I feel that. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, once my kids start playing sports, I mean, we going to Togo's. You know what I mean? We going to Subway.
Bro.
You know what I mean? It's like, we going to...
That's all good and dandy.
No.
Forget the damn memories, bro. We're going to Togo's.
I'm gonna walk so my kids can run. You know what I mean?
He's like, first of all, my wife doesn't know how to make mole.
But you can try, babe. But I say that in the aspect like I'll go through that. I went through that.
Bro.
I humbled me. I built character. But you know what?
Bro just shot down that moment that we were having. Like, it was all. Bro just took a shotgun to it.
Oh man.
I ain't fronting. You know what I mean? I'll be at Subway with my kids. Like, nah. I went through that. Okay, I went through that little low key embarrassment that we did have. You know what
I had no embarrassment, no
You know?
shame, bro.
But see, that was me though. Like I felt like, like I wish Subway sounds so fire right now. I never had Subway. I was like, what's Subway? You know what I mean? Like I never had Chipotle or Togas. I'm like, oh man, like one day.
I would have appreciated your mom's mole, bro.
Oh, I loved his mom's mole. Don't get me wrong. Those are good memories. We have those memories for life. You know, but my kids.
I had mole at my wedding too. You remember
did.
that?
I do remember
Are you
that.
ashamed of that too?
This fool.
Did you wish you were eating a Togo sandwich at his wedding?
I did eat one before I went. I had one at the hotel.
Okay. So for my 25th, I should order Togos
Yes.
for you? Gotcha.
Yes, chicken breast, please.
Or cancel the lobster.
Yeah, no, I don't even need lobster.
Oh, man.
God.
I was over here, you know, like, oh man, I have these great memories with this guy. He's like, this whole time his mind was on Togo's. Dang.
Okay, I wasn't
all good.
referring to
Yes,
myself. I was referring to my kids now. If they play sports, you know, like, you know, hey, we got it.
They're getting the 6-inch. I got you.
Get a full on, save some for later. You know what I mean?
Cheaper.
You know,
sure.
and get
Humble
the big,
yourself. Eat the other half
get the
another
big
day.
chips, dude. Get the big chips.
No, you
know what I
get
mean?
the 6, so they eat some of it now and they get hungry again. There's the rest of your
Exactly.
sandwich.
Wait, but you got to get your dad tax though.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. That's at 2 inches right there, bro.
No
Dude.
question.
Bite.
It's like, Dad, can I have some chips? Yeah, sure. Where are the chips at? Dad tax. I love dad tax.
Oh,
To this
absolutely.
day.
Yeah, still.
Absolutely.
They got a cheeseburger today. I was like, all right.
Yep.
There you go. Half a burger for you.
Is there a husband? Is there a husband tax?
Nah.
Asking for a friend.
No, you can't do that, man. You
It's
can't
already
mess,
a trend, bro.
you can't mess with your woman's food, man.